At the end of May 2025, an unexpected conflict erupted in the border region between Thailand and Cambodia, leading to the death of one Cambodian soldier. With both sides issuing a series of strong statements, the situation quickly deteriorated and became more tense than ever. Domestic public opinion also reacted fiercely, with emotions running high. This development signals the potential risk of a widespread crisis between the two neighboring countries. However, this is not a single incident, but the result of long-standing historical conflicts and territorial disputes. Nevertheless, this incident is not just an isolated accident, but stems from long-standing historical tensions and territorial disagreements. Despite being neighboring countries with similar cultural backgrounds, the two nations have vastly different perspectives on their past, which remains the root cause of unresolved conflicts to this day. To better understand the tensions between Cambodia and Thailand, we need to revisit a key part of the region's history: the rise of the Khmer Empire, a civilization that once played a central role in shaping the cultural and political landscape of mainland Southeast Asia. According to many historical sources, the Khmer Empire, widely known as Angkor, reached its peak between the 9th and 15th centuries, with its capital located in what is now Siem Reap province. Monumental structures like Angkor Wat not only reflect advanced social organization, but also reveal a unique blend of indigenous beliefs, Hinduism, and Buddhism. However, starting from the 13th century, the regional balance of power began to shift. Early Thai kingdoms like Sukhothai and Ayutthaya started rising, gradually expanding their influence southward and eastward. According to some records, during Angkor's decline, several key areas fell under Thai control. This historical backdrop gave rise to two differing perspectives. Cambodians view themselves as the direct heirs of Angkor's legacy, both culturally and symbolically. Meanwhile, many Thai scholars argue that while influenced by Khmer culture, Thai civilization developed its own identity, shaped by diverse sources like India, China, and regional exchanges. These contrasting interpretations of history have led to mismatched perceptions between the two nations. According to some observers, such differences go beyond academic debate. They directly impact diplomatic relations, especially when tied to questions of national identity. Recognizing and respecting multiple historical narratives is seen as crucial to building mutual understanding and easing tensions. Without this, long-standing disputes could continue to hinder cooperation between the two sides. Aside from historical factors, one of the key issues that contributes to the sensitivity in Cambodia-Thailand relations is the dispute over cultural inheritance. In many cases, culture is not just a spiritual asset, but also a means of expressing national identity and reinforcing a country's position on the global stage. Cambodia has long asserted its central role in the formation and preservation of ancient Khmer cultural values. Many perspectives here claim that elements such as temple architecture, ancient scripts, classical dance, traditional music, and religious philosophy all originated during the Golden Age of the Angkor Empire, a period considered the pinnacle of the nation's history. As a result, any cultural similarities found in neighboring countries, especially Thailand, are often viewed with skepticism or seen as signs of one-sided borrowing. A prominent example is the debate surrounding the Lakhon dance in Cambodia and the Khon drama in Thailand. Although they share similarities in movements, music, and costumes, the two nations offer differing explanations for the origins of these art forms. Thailand, for its part, often takes a more conciliatory stance. Many scholars there argue that Thai culture is the product of a long process of acculturation, with contributions from various civilizations, including Khmer, Indian, Chinese, and even Western influences during the modernization era. According to them, the similarities between Thai and Khmer cultures are inevitable in a region with such a rich history of cultural exchange. One notable point is that after the Khmer Rouge period, during which many of Cambodia's cultural heritages were severely damaged, the country had to undertake restoration efforts based on existing materials and practices, including references to Thai culture due to their visual and structural proximity. While this process was necessary for cultural preservation, it also inadvertently blurred the lines between original heritage and external influence. Many regional cultural analysts argue that instead of focusing solely on who owns what, a more humanistic approach would be to view traditional cultural elements as shared assets of humanity, created over centuries and by many communities. Nevertheless, in a context where national identity is closely tied to national pride, accepting the idea of shared or co-inherited culture remains a major challenge. This is why cultural disputes between Cambodia and Thailand have yet to reach a definitive resolution. If you were Cambodian, would you accept someone else claiming your culture as their own? Beyond cultural disagreements, geography, specifically the border issue, also plays a central role in the complex relationship between Cambodia and Thailand. According to analyses from several international research institutions, the over 800-kilometer border between the two countries has never been fully and transparently demarcated, largely due to lingering effects from the colonial era. When Cambodia became a French colony in the late 19th century, the French administration and the Kingdom of Siam, the predecessor of modern Thailand, signed several agreements to define their borders. During this process, various maps were drawn by French experts, notably one showing the Preah Vihear temple within Cambodian territory. However, Thailand later questioned the validity of this map, arguing that it was never officially approved by a joint boundary commission. Tensions resurfaced after Cambodia gained independence in 1953. The Preah Vihear temple, with its Hindu-style Khmer architecture located on the Dangrek mountain range, became the focal point of the dispute. Both countries claimed ownership, citing historical, religious, and cultural grounds. After a lengthy legal battle, Thailand remained silent for nearly 50 years, and ironically it was this silence that led the International Court to award Preah Vihear to Cambodia. But was that truly fair? However, the ruling did not specifically address the surrounding 4.6 km2 area, resulting in a prolonged and unresolved territorial dispute. In 2008, the issue flared up again when Cambodia submitted a proposal to UNESCO to list Preah Vihear as a World Heritage Site. Thailand strongly objected, arguing that the move could be interpreted as a claim over the entire disputed area. Tensions escalated, leading to sporadic confrontations between the two nations' forces. By 2011, the International Court of Justice issued a supplementary ruling, calling on both countries to withdraw troops and establish a demilitarized zone. Although tensions temporarily eased, international analysts note that the legal status of the land surrounding the temple remains unsettled. Besides Preah Vihear, there are at least 3 other areas currently under dispute between the two sides. Each country uses different names and relies on separate historical records or maps, adding further complexity to the situation. That's why, in June 2025, Cambodia brought the matter back to the ICJ, hoping for a clearer resolution. It's important to emphasize that territorial disputes are not simply about land. For many nations, especially ones with a long history of struggle like Cambodia and Thailand, territory is closely tied to national pride and the legitimacy of the ruling government. As a result, even diplomatic compromises may trigger domestic backlash, prompting both sides to maintain firm stances. In many cases, history and culture are not only the foundations of national identity, but also strategic tools in domestic political life. The tensions between Cambodia and Thailand are a prime example of how historical issues, if not handled carefully, can be exploited for short-term political goals. According to regional experts, both Phnom Penh and Bangkok have at times emphasized territorial disputes and cultural heritage issues as part of a broader message of national unity. The defense of historically significant symbols, such as ancient temples or traditional dances, is often used as a means to boost legitimacy and strengthen domestic support. For Cambodia, this carries deeper significance given the country's experience under the Khmer Rouge and the severe cultural losses it suffered. In this context, asserting ownership over symbolic heritage sites such as the Preah Vihear Temple becomes not just a legal action, but also a declaration of identity and a symbol of recovery after trauma. Thailand, as one of the region's most influential nations, is not immune to this trend. Thai culture is often promoted as the product of a harmonious blend of influences, from India and China to the West, and this is frequently presented as evidence of independent development. In disputes, this stance fosters a sense of firmness and a degree of caution against any accusations of cultural imitation. Nationalism, therefore, becomes a significant factor. Especially in the digital age, debates on social media over cultural symbols, temples, or traditional clothing can easily turn into emotionally charged confrontations, sometimes with extreme overtones. Some viral posts have, in the past, had real impacts on diplomatic relations between the two countries. Many scholars warn that when cultural and historical topics become politicized, the risk of distortion is high. Exploiting such symbols for short-term gains, whether during elections or in response to public pressure, can inadvertently deepen the divide between the two nations. The real challenge is not just resolving territorial boundaries or heritage claims, but also figuring out how political leaders can use history as a bridge rather than a wall. This requires a clear distinction between academic debate and political propaganda, a difficult task when national pride remains a highly sensitive issue on both sides. Although tensions between Cambodia and Thailand have persisted for decades, it is worth noting that both sides have taken steps toward peacefully resolving their disputes. Diplomatic, legal, and cultural channels have all been utilized to build a foundation for dialogue and cooperation. On the official diplomatic front, the two countries have maintained regular contact through the Joint Border Commission, JBC, and the General Border Committee, GBC. These bilateral mechanisms play a crucial role in managing border incidents, facilitating information exchange, and advancing the demarcation process in unresolved areas. As of 2022, 13 border markers had been officially established, while negotiations were ongoing for 11 other points. At the international legal level, the International Court of Justice, ICJ, remains a trusted forum for both nations. Cambodia's decision to bring additional disputed areas to the ICJ in 2025 reflects a desire for legal resolution rather than military confrontation. Many experts view this as a responsible and constructive approach to international relations. Beyond state-level initiatives, cultural organizations, universities, and research institutions from both countries have launched projects to promote people-to-people exchange. Academic seminars, heritage restoration programs, cultural exchange events, and student programs are expected to serve as bridges, helping citizens from both sides better understand the historical context and reduce long-standing biases. However, the path toward true reconciliation is still lined with obstacles. One notable challenge is the growing presence of nationalism on social media. Extreme content, misinformation, or unverified claims spread rapidly, turning online platforms into arenas of confrontation rather than discussion. At times, inflammatory comments can even influence diplomatic decisions. Moreover, in domestic political contexts, territorial disputes are often used as tools to consolidate power. During sensitive periods, governments may find it difficult to make concessions without facing pressure from the media and voters. This reality makes reconciliation efforts, which require flexibility, much harder to implement in practice. Additionally, technical factors must not be overlooked. Interpreting historical maps, pinpointing accurate coordinates and ensuring consistency among documents from various time periods is a complex and time-consuming task. Without close cooperation and goodwill from both sides, the process can easily stall. In short, despite ongoing political and social hurdles, the existing dialogue mechanisms and involvement of the international community help keep tensions from spiraling out of control. This provides a basis for believing that peaceful resolution is still within reach, if both parties continue to prioritize dialogue and cooperation over confrontation. The dispute between Cambodia and Thailand is not a problem without a solution. Many experts believe that if both sides shift their approach from confrontation to cooperation, long-standing tensions could gradually be resolved. One of the key factors is maintaining transparent and consistent dialogue, whether through bilateral channels or multilateral frameworks like ASEAN. A stable space for exchange is a necessary condition for managing tensions and building trust. Additionally, sectors such as culture, education, and tourism can act as soft bridges. With many shared aspects in belief systems, language, and heritage, citizens of both countries can participate in joint programs, exhibitions, and academic partnerships, laying the groundwork for mutual understanding and empathy. Some notable proposals include establishing cultural cooperation zones in disputed border areas, where both sides jointly manage and preserve heritage instead of asserting absolute sovereignty. This approach has proven effective in some other parts of the world. Media also plays a significant role. Journalists, scholars, and civil society organizations need to report objectively and avoid inciting public sentiment. When information is properly directed, it can become a tool for unity rather than division. In particular, the younger generation, less constrained by past prejudices, can be pioneers in shifting mindsets. If educated in an environment that respects differences, they will lay the foundation for a peaceful future. Finally, the involvement of international organizations such as the ICJ, UNESCO, or ASEAN remains essential in ensuring a transparent legal framework, technical support, and oversight during negotiation processes. In summary, transforming conflict into opportunity requires flexible policies, sincere dialogue, and broad social consensus. When that happens, borders will no longer be lines of division, but can become spaces of connection between two culturally linked nations. The dispute between Cambodia and Thailand is not just about borders. It's about history, culture, and national identity. Despite their differences, the two nations still have the opportunity to move from confrontation to dialogue if they effectively leverage diplomatic, cultural, and regional cooperation channels. The solution doesn't lie in who is right or wrong, but in how both sides preserve and develop their shared heritage with respect and mutual benefit. In your opinion, should the dispute continue to be brought to the international stage, or should the focus shift to intra-regional dialogue? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the bell to follow more in-depth content from Eagle Discovery. Let's build a community of understanding, objectivity, and openness together. Thank you for watching until the end of the video.